Adrien Rabiot is a player that we have featured many times on the transfer shows on the Toon Review in the past. Now, his contract does end with Juventus on the 1st of July. And does that mean he is going to pastures new? Will he sign with Juventus again? Or have we offered him a bumper deal? Also on the show, James Maddison is being reported by the Northern Echo to prefer London rather than the North East. Also, what is going on with PIF and Chelsea? All these transfers going across to Saudi Arabia, not just from Chelsea, of course, but obviously they've bought the top four clubs in Saudi. Is that weakening the Premier League a little bit, do you think? And could we be going in for another Juventus superstar? Let's take a look. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Toon Review YouTube channel. My name is Paul and this is the Daily News Show. A lot to get through today as per usual with Newcastle United. But before we start, guys, if you do enjoy today's show, please give it the thumbs up. It is very important that we keep the likes coming in on the channel so that fans like yourselves can find us and hopefully subscribe in the future. And if you are new and like what you see, please do hit the subscribe button. It is free to do so. Come and be part of a brilliant community and also hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. Now, let's take a look at Rabiot. Of course, as I said there in the intro, he is a free transfer. His contract is running out on the 1st of July, becomes a free agent, as do many superstars across Europe, which we've already featured on many shows as well. But Rabiot is a player who Newcastle United have been interested in the past. Never a formal bid going in, but we know that the club have been interested. Now, Rabiot's had an interesting career. Obviously played for PSG. He's now at Juventus. For me, a very, very, very good player. Now, it's claimed that we've gone in with an offer of a contract of €5 million a season. Now, that's round about €2 million less than what he gets at Juventus at the moment. But there is no guarantee for Rabiot that Juventus are going to offer him a new deal. I would have thought by now, if they were going to offer him a deal, they would have. But, of course, the reports are coming to say Juventus may want to keep him. But again, they're leaving it rather late, aren't they? If they wanted to offer him a contract, surely they would have done that and get him tied down for next season or the next couple of seasons, whatever it may be. But for me, it doesn't look like they are going to offer him a deal. And Newcastle have obviously awoken to this and so, right, let's go in with an offer. If that's to be believed, there's nothing concrete saying that we have gone in for an offer. Remember, there's lots of stuff going on, with Newcastle United across the media every single day about offering this, offering that. So it's very important that, certainly for me, doing these shows and as a channel, that we don't mislead anybody and we're saying, yeah, we definitely have offered him a contract. We look at the news and we say, right, where's a reputable source reporting this? And if it's a reputable source, then we will. It's only a report. There's no definite in this. But it's interesting because we know that we need another midfielder and we're going to come on to Madison in a second. So if we don't get him, where do we go next? Now, €5 million a season, that is a big deal. It's a huge deal. But this is where we are now. Champions League football, we have to offer these internationals, we have to offer Champions League wages. It's as simple as that. And Rabiot comes under that category. And he's also got Champions League experience, which is vital for next season. That's the kind of players that I believe personally that we're looking at. We're looking at players who are Champions League worthy, Champions League experience, can cope with the pressures of the Champions League. And Rabiot would fall under that bracket. There is no doubt in my mind about it. I worry a little bit that maybe, if this has been made public, Newcastle probably didn't want that. They probably want to go in with an offer, and if it's turned down, maybe negotiate a bit more. I mean, for all we know, Newcastle may turn around and say, right, there's the offer, take it or leave it. We'll look elsewhere if not. Or maybe they've gone in with a first offer for Rabiot, seen what his agents come back with and see if they can negotiate a deal. But let me know, would Rabiot appeal to you guys? I mean, I know we've mentioned him before in the transfer shows, but I'm interested to get your thoughts on Rabiot because I think he'd be a good signing. But again, nothing's definite. This may or may not grow in the media as the days go by. Right, on to James Maddison. And for me, guys, I have to admit, I'm getting a little bit bored and a little bit frustrated with this whole Madison saga. Now, I didn't personally expect anything to happen with James Maddison while the England games are going on. I would have thought, maybe we'd have gone in as soon as the transfer window opened. That's what I was certainly hoping for. I mentioned that on a few shows. That maybe as soon as that window opened, we pounced for Madison before anybody else got the chance to do so. However, he's away with England at the moment, remember. There's lots of talk saying, Trippier and Wilson will be having words with him, but so will the Tottenham players. We forget that. The Tottenham players will be in his ear as well. Gareth Southgate's already come out and said this morning, that goes on in the England camp. Players are kind of agents for the club and they're discussing what a brilliant club it is to sign for and things like that. So that may well be happening with the England squad. But it's reported by the Northern Echo that Madison actually prefers a move to London than a move to the northeast. Now, what they've claimed is it's for personal reasons and family reasons. Now, he's a northern lad, he's a Midlands lad, and he's from Coventry. So, to me, this London thing is a pain in the arse. It really is. But I just want it to be settled either way because I'm getting a bit fed up with it now. I think everybody is. This London versus the Northeast garbage that we keep hearing from the media. And again, the Northern Echo, they're a Northeast-based, newspaper. Report, plug the Northeast a bit more. Stop saying, he prefers a move to London. Give us reasons why he shouldn't go to London as a Northeast paper. This... We see it in the pundits saying it every day about what a wonderful place London is and things like that, but they never say what a wonderful place the Northeast is. Now, for family reasons, I couldn't, the Northeast, what a fantastic place to live. You hear about, there's some lovely places in London, don't get me wrong, but the crime you hear about going on in London, etc., I tell you what, there's some gorgeous places to live up here. And I don't understand this family reasons bollocks, right? I really don't. Because if I had a choice, and I'm being biased here, yes, but if I had a choice to live in London or somewhere in the northeast, I'd go the northeast. It's much more friendly. Yes, the weather isn't as good as it is down south sometimes in the summer. However, we've got some beautiful places up here where players for me can relax a lot better than they can in the Goldfish Bowl of London. Of all places in the world. But look, I don't know. The Northern Echo, are they just clickbaiting again? I really don't know. And we'll not know until Madison makes his decision about where he's going to go. Because if you read through all the news reports again this morning, there is a few reports saying that Madison is close to agreeing a Newcastle deal. So you never know. But somebody like the Northern Echo, a decent newspaper in the past, I'm starting to get annoyed with the Northeast newspapers now because they never seem to promote the Northeast. It's always like bad news, isn't it? I don't know whether you agree with me, but it always seems to be bad news. But I'm getting a little bit bored of it now. I just wish, once this England game gets out the way, hopefully James Maddison himself will make a decision about where he's going to go. He will go where he goes, whether he goes to Tottenham or Newcastle, and then it's over and done with, and whoever doesn't get him can move on. Because what I don't want to see happen with Newcastle is delaying a move for a certain player while we're hanging on to the Madison deal. If there's a player available, take Szoboszlai, for instance, somebody like that. If we're holding back because we think we can get Madison and then somebody else pops in for Szoboszlai, we've lost him. And that's what I don't want to happen. I don't want us to be hanging around on deals this summer because we can't afford to because, like I say, we're in the Champions League now. The big players are going to go very early. They're not going to hang on. They're going to go to teams ready for the pre-season, ready for the Champions League, etc. And that's where we need to be. But, I'm not subscribing to a lot of frustration on Twitter and things like that about, oh my God, why aren't we signing anybody? I know deals take time. I know they do. But if we're hanging on to Madison in the hope that we get him and then we don't, have we lost out on other players? That's the worry. But we've got to be active. We've got to compete. Now, whether Madison goes to Tottenham or not, I just want it over with, guys. But let me know what you think. Now, PIF have been very busy lately, haven't they? They've bought the top 4 clubs across Saudi Arabia, and they are purchasing big names to go and play in that league. Of course, Benzema's gone there, Ronaldo's already there, but they are now taking players away from Chelsea. I know some of them are free transfers, some of them aren't. Now, you could look at it both ways. Are they weakening Chelsea by taking some of the players away that they'd like to offer new contracts to? Or are they, are they giving Chelsea money for the future to go and get better players? It's a bit of a worry for me. I mean, I'm not going to make too much of it, but I've seen a lot of Newcastle fans mention it, saying, what is going on here? They're buying up a lot of the players. How about they take Jeff Hendrick? the Irish Pele, take him across to Saudi. Ryan Fraser, players just waiting in the ranks at Newcastle to get out there and perform in the Saudi league with the very best in the world. Ruben Neves has just gone there. That was a surprise to me. Apparently he was off to Barcelona. That was all signed, sealed and delivered. And then a Saudi team come in, offering bumper wages, and away you go. Is this going to impact the Premier League? Is it going to impact European football? Because of the money that Saudi have to take over, to take the players over there to play there. Now, we saw this in China a few years ago, if you can remember. They were offering absolute bumper wages for players to go and play in China. It lasted a couple of years, and then a lot of the Chinese clubs didn't have any money. It really took a massive hit. This probably won't happen in Saudi, of course, but, you're looking at taking the players that they are, and you think, well, hang on a minute, we need players. We need players. And our PIF, which direction are they looking in here? Are they looking at really making the Saudi League a real, a massive league over there and taking some of the best players in the world there? Or, are they weakening some of the teams in order for Newcastle to go and spend money on the big names? It's crazy at the moment. I just don't know what's going on. Every day now we're seeing a big name moving to Saudi Arabia. Now, it's clearly for money. Let's be honest. I'm not being disrespectful or anything like that, because the money that they can offer compared to some other clubs it just doesn't come into contention. It really doesn't. They are going for money. You cannot tell me Ruben Neves at his age has gone to play in Saudi for the competition. Absolutely bull rot. He's gone for the money. Now, do I blame him for going for the money? No, because if he goes for the money, he's looking after his family, etc., for the rest of his life. I mean, he probably could have playing in the Premier League, let's be honest. So maybe the money thing isn't a big enough factor for me. I just think a lot of fans maybe saying, they're bottling it, going over there, that, there's not that much competition. But PIF are trying to make the Saudi League massive. But is it at the detriment to the clubs over here, and especially the one that they own? Because we haven't seen any signings yet, of course, and it's a little bit worrying, I have to say. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's right that they're buying all these players, or should they be concentrating on helping Newcastle get their squad together first before the season starts? Or, I mean, listen, PIF is massive. We know that. They're massive. The trillions of dollars in money and stuff like that is not an issue to them. So do they have a part of PIF that is looking after the Saudi League, a part of PIF that is specifically for Newcastle and specifically to bring them success? We don't know. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes, and we never will, to be honest. But it's interesting, but it's worrying as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Now, we finish on a little bit of transfer news again. Federico Chiesa. Now, he's a superstar in Italy for Juventus. Very, very good player. No doubt about it. However, Kieza has fallen out with Juventus manager Max Allegri, and I think Juventus have accepted that he may well have to leave in the summer. It's one of these battles that, manager-player, that I think the manager has come out on top, and the club have backed the manager with this, and maybe Kieza now has to find pastures new. Now, this is the same report from the same media outlet who was reporting on the Rabiot situation. So, again, I've seen reports from this media outlet before, and they've been decent, that they haven't been wrong. Obviously a few have, but not in general. In general, they've been decent with the reports. Now, Kieza for me would be a fabulous signing, but again, does he want to play in the Premier League, or does he want to stay in Italy? That's what we have to take into consideration here. Chiesa himself hasn't said a word, but it is known that Newcastle have a very, very good relationship with Chiesa's entourage. Now, I'm not sure what that means, whether it means his agents or his whatever company he looks after him. But it's led to believe that the entourage of Kieza get on very well with Newcastle United, and a deal could be struck. Now, what does strike me is Juventus will probably look for around a €40 million fee, and his wages could also be a sticking point because he's on massive wages. But again, if Newcastle can come to a decent agreement with the agents, etc., you just never know. €40 million is something that probably Newcastle United could afford, whether that be straight up front or whether it be across an instalment plan, but we don't know. This is, I mean, look, we're talking about very, very good players here, but again, nothing concrete. And that will frustrate a lot of Newcastle United fans, without a doubt, that there's nothing concrete going on yet. The window's been open almost a week, and we're seeing nothing in, concrete. There is a story this morning that Dan Ashworth is going in for another 16-year-old, I believe from Wolves. So, they are building the academy, and a lot of fans are now starting to say, wait, let's just, can we turn our attention to the first team squad here, and let's get a few players in. But it's only been open a week. So I get the frustration, because the excitement before the window opened, of course, about who could be coming in, who might not be coming in. The anticipation of it all is there. It's massive. And then when, you're a week down the line in the transfer window, we haven't brought anybody in yet, and there's all that worry on top of everything else. But you just don't know. You just don't know. But anyway, guys, that is it for today. As usual, let me know in the comments below what you think of the stories today. And if you have enjoyed it, please do give it one of those, a big thumbs up. It is important for the likes to keep this channel in those search results. And of course, if you're new and you have enjoyed today, why not hit the subscribe button? Free to do so. And of course, the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. And of course, you can donate to the channel even when we're not on air. There is a thanks button just along from the thumbs up button if you want to make a donation to the channel. Thank you in advance for that, because we do put that back into the channel to keep the quality of videos coming for you guys out there. But that is it. Thank you for watching today. Enjoy the rest of it. Take care.